The Story Vault presents The Berserker. Episode 3. Echoes in the Blizzard. The snow fell in relentless waves, blanketing the Scandinavian wilderness in a suffocating silence. The Berserker trudged through the icy expanse, his fur-lined cloak battered by the wind. In the distance, the faint glow of a cabin pierced the storm. It was a lonely beacon in a desolate land, promising warmth and perhaps danger. The creak of boots on frozen wood echoed as he approached. He rapped on the door, his heavy fist a sharp contrast to the muffled storm outside. The door swung open, revealing a scruffy man with a toothy grin. The man's wild hair and mismatched clothing gave him a disheveled appearance, but his eyes gleamed with a cunning that belied his outward demeanor. The man welcomed the Berserker in with exaggerated hospitality, motioning to the fire and offering a seat. The Berserker nodded, stepping inside. The warmth was immediate, but carried with it an unsettling tension. The cabin's interior was modest. A rough-hewn table, a few chairs, and a roaring fire. Near the hearth sat a young woman, no more than 18. She was strikingly beautiful, her blonde hair loose around her shoulders. Her eyes, however, were wary, darting toward the scruffy man whenever she moved. The man spoke boisterously, laughing as he recounted his good fortune in acquiring a wife. He gestured toward the girl who shrank under his gaze. "Saved her from her boring little village," he declared. "Bought her fair and square from her parents. She's better off here with me." He laughed again, oblivious to the girl's discomfort. The Berserker sat silently, his storm-gray eyes scanning the room. Details began to emerge. Faint bruises on the girl's wrists, the way she flinched at the man's every movement. The dagger tucked beneath the table where the man sat. The atmosphere grew heavier with each passing moment. The man poured drinks, his hand gripping the girl's arm as she served. She moved with practiced subservience, but her hands trembled. The Berserker's gaze lingered on her, and she dared a brief glance at him. Her lips parted as if to speak, but fear held her silent. The scruffy man attempted to make small talk, asking the Berserker about his travels. When the Berserker offered only terse replies, the man's questions turned sharper. "You don't say much, do you? What brings a man like you all the way out here? Surely not just the weather." His tone hinted at suspicion, but he masked it with a crooked grin. The girl continued her silent tasks, laying plates of bread and dried meat on the table. Her movements were careful, her eyes cast downward, but the Berserker noticed the subtle bruises on her ankles as her dress shifted. She was trapped, her body language speaking volumes even as her voice remained silent. The man leaned back in his chair, raising his mug. "To fortune, eh? And to knowing one's place in life." He eyed the girl pointedly as he took a long drink, the firelight casting ominous shadows on his face. The girl startled when the man slammed his mug down, demanding more. She hurried to comply, spilling a little in her haste. The man's mood soured instantly. "Can't even pour a drink properly," he muttered, grabbing her wrist roughly. "Useless, just like they said." The Berserker's expression darkened. He rose slowly, his towering figure casting a shadow over the room. The man turned to him, sneering. "What, you have something to say?" The Berserker said nothing. He reached for his axe, the motion deliberate and unhurried. The man's bravado faltered, but he lunged nonetheless, a knife flashing in his hand. The fight erupted with the crack of wood and the clash of steel. The man was strong, but no match for the Berserker's skill and power. The struggle ended with a final decisive blow, the axe cutting through the cabin's oppressive air. Silence returned, broken only by the crackle of the fire. The girl sat frozen, her wide eyes fixed on the scene. The Berserker cleaned his weapon, his movements methodical. He gathered a small bundle of dried meat and fish from his pack and placed it on the table. Without a word, he turned and walked toward the door. The girl stood. Her voice, soft but steady, called out, "Thank you." The Berserker paused but did not look back. He stepped into the snow, the storm swallowing him once more. The girl hesitated, glancing around the cabin. Then, with quiet determination, she followed. She kept her distance, her figure small against the vast whiteness. The Berserker did not acknowledge her, but neither did he stop. As their figures faded into the snow, the storm carried the faint sound of her footsteps, a fragile echo of hope in the desolate wilderness. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more tales of the Berserker's journey. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. See you in the next one.